Welcome back to the San Diego Opera Podcast. I'm Nick Ravelis. My guest today is Florencia herself, the soprano Elaine Alvarez.
Hi.
Welcome. It's good to have you here, and thank you for coming to the podcast.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It really is my pleasure.
Delighted. So let's talk, first of all, a little bit about you before we start talking about your character.
Aren't they the same?
Of course, of course. Well, we'll talk about that. You've had quite a career. You've been singing all over the place. This is terrific. Were you a young artist at Chicago Lyric? Is that
No, I wasn't. People often think that I am
because you sung there a lot,
right? Because I was hired to cover Mimi at the very start of my career. It was my second season that I covered there, and things happened a certain way, and I ended up getting the run of the show.
Wow.
And going on at the Lyric when I was just turned 27.
Oh my gosh.
Which was an incredible thing, also because Renata Scotto was the director, and that was my idol, is my idol.
Yeah.
So it was a really explosive moment for me in my life and in my career.
I didn't realize Scotto was the director. I've got to ask you about her.
She's
How
just
was
incredible. You know, the first day that I met her, when I was given the job to cover, sometimes it happens that the artist that you're covering is going to be coming late, and so
Yeah.
you're told that you're going to be in role for a few days. And so I was told that I would be in role for the first few days of rehearsal, and so I knew that I was going to be working with her, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna have Scotto like watching me, and oh my God, what is she gonna think? And so
Well, and imparting to you the many years of Mimi
That's right.
and all that history and tradition.
it was really interesting. The first rehearsal, she just sort of like sat back and just let me do my Mimi. I think she just really wanted to get a sense of who I was, let me calm down my nerves.
Sure.
And then I just felt like this moment happened where she was like, okay, I want to work with this person. And she just really took me under her wing. She worked with me privately, not just within the rehearsal schedule, but we had private coachings. And we just spent a lot of time just talking about Mimi, talking about the backstory and how to create sort of her whole life up until the moment that she knocks on the door, so that when I come on stage, the audience is meeting a full person with a life behind her, and not just, something that is sketched onto the stage in that moment that appears suddenly. And it was really exceptionally special for me.
It sounds to me like there was something that you learned in that process with her that you could take with you to other roles.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, having that experience basically at the very start of my career was incredibly formative for me, because so much of what she talked to me about was about not manufacturing a character, not manufacturing color, to invest my time in really studying the music, really studying what the composer wrote on the page. That was his vision for manifesting these words in this story, and then spend so much time with the text so that when I'm singing, I'm just saying the text. I'm not creating a character for you, and I'm allowing, by just playing the scene the way that it's on the page, the color will come out from there naturally, from a very sincere place. And she really, because I continued to work with her after that, I actually went to Rome a few years later to spend time with her preparing Tosca before I debuted it, from beginning to end, and then also working on Verdi style, which Verdi is really, it's Puccini and Verdi for me. Those are my two guys. And that she keeps coming back to that, of having just the utmost respect for what these incredible geniuses were trying to create. It's not for me to rewrite the music or to improve the music as if I could. It's for me to interpret what is on the page and then run it through the filter that is me, my feelings, my life experience, so that I can present it to an audience from a place that is real, so that I am injected into every single character that I play.
Okay. So,
Segue.
let's apply that to Florencia. Is this your first time singing Florencia?
It's my first time with Florencia, not my first time with Catan.
Right. That's right. You sang La Hija de Rappaccini
Yes.
at Gotham.
That's right.
In New York.
Also with Daniel Montenegro, who's the Arcadio in this cast.
Right.
He was Giovanni, my love interest. I killed him. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
We know. We saw it a few years back.
Yeah.
Many years back, but we did see it.
And that was how I met David Bennett, who's the general director here.
Right.
And Andrea Puentes Catan, who is Maestro Catan's widow. She was playing the harp in that ensemble. So it was an incredible sort of deep dive into the world of Catan, what his soundscape is,
right.
how he communicates characters in his writing. Just really exceptional.
It's exceptional in both pieces, but I find the works different. Very different.
Very different.
Rappaccini's daughter, to my ear, now I'm going back however many years it was that we did it, 20 years ago or something, was a little bit more angular
Yes.
and dissonant, although there was a lyricism about it that I found incredibly attractive. Now, this piece is 12 years later, I think, in his career. It's a little different.
Yeah, you can definitely see the evolution that he went through. I also saw an interview on YouTube that he gave when he was, going around with the show, promoting it. And he talked about how with Florencia specifically, he really wanted to capture the Latin American experience and the Latin American sound. Because with Rappaccini, it's based on a Nathaniel Hawthorne short story. So it's decidedly not a Latin American story.
And it takes place in Italy.
Exactly. And you hear, as you said, a lot of angularity. It's a more... it has some more atonality than you see in Florencia, which is a lot more tonal. It's a lot more melodic. It's in a sound world that you really latch on to. You hear themes coming back constantly.
Right.
Certainly my character, I have all of these little snippets that appear in the scenes of all the other characters thematically, which is really cool for me when we started rehearsing and I really started hearing everybody else's music, because I don't really sing with many other people.
Right.
I really just have 2 duets. The rest is arias.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting for me to hear the way that he is weaving the overall story of being on a journey for love throughout the piece. But of course, what is so special about Florencia is the fact that he wanted it to reflect the Latin American experience. And so you have these rhythms that are appearing constantly that are found in the folk music and the popular music of Latin cultures, which is really exciting.
It's and when that happens, the ear perks up.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool because I don't ever find the Latin American elements overwhelming or out there. They're very subtle. They just sort of weave in.
Yeah, it's organic.
occasionally.
It's organic because he is a Latin American composer.
Yeah. And it just works so beautifully. Tell me, though, about the connection. Florencia Grimaldi is an opera singer.
That's right.
And going through this transformation and having all these questions at the beginning of the piece, you're an opera singer. You've hit a certain point in your career. Are you finding you're making connections with,
absolutely.
with the character?
Absolutely. Florencia, she's a superstar in the world of this opera. She's achieved the highest level of fame that she can in opera within this fictional story, but she's lost herself because the illusion of fame, which it really is an illusion, it sort of disconnected her from where she came from how she started. And so the real overarching story here is this woman that is having to go all the way back home, deep into the Amazon, to find herself again and to reconcile where she came from, where she went, and who she is now. She really is disconnected with her own identity. And she says that in the first aria. Am I this woman that the public acclaims, or am I the girl that fell in love here with you? I don't know. Am I both? And really that's the thing, is she both? And of course she is. All those experiences are wrapped together, but it's how do you live with that? How do you live from that, from
Yeah.
being both of those things, all the things that you feel the world has imposed on you? And certainly, I think any professional in the performing arts that has been doing it for a certain amount of time. This is my 11th professional season, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
You do certainly feel, especially I think in the beginning when you're young and you have a lot of people mentoring you and sort of taking the reins of your career, you get influenced by their expectations of you,
Yeah.
who they think you should be,
Of course.
what kind of achievements and levels of success by whatever time they think you should have them. And in the mind of someone young, certainly someone that is not used to being, having their picture published in magazines and, having people write about you in blogs that don't even know you, it's overwhelming, and
Sure.
you can lose yourself. You can get disconnected from the truth of who you are. So there is a lot of similarities. Although I have not sung at La Scala and she has. So
well,
we differ in that way.
You have to work on that. We'll have to make that happen. Then I imagined that the arc that Florencia Grimaldi goes through in this opera is something that you can really identify with at a deep level, at an artistic level, and at a spirit level.
Absolutely.
That must be exciting.
And I think, even if you're not an opera singer, if you're not a performer, you can certainly relate to this idea of having someone in your life that changed everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then losing them.
Yeah.
And trying so badly to get back to that place where you can be with them again. And what happens if you've run out of time? What happens if that person is dead?
Yeah.
And she has to grapple with the reality that he might be dead.
Yeah.
And how does she get to him if he's in that other place? So I'm not gonna give spoilers here.
No, we can't do that.
You have to see the show. But she has a transformative moment at the end in which she is able to tell him what she really came to say, and by doing so really turns into who she really is.
Yeah. It's a very hopeful ending.
Yes,
I don't
it
think
is.
that spoils anything.
No.
But it just there's a wonderful sense of hopeful transformation at the end, which we won't go any further. Thank you so much for coming in. As I'm talking to members of the cast and the stage director and Joseph, the conductor, I'm getting more and more intrigued by this piece. I can't wait to see it. I'm probably the only person on staff that didn't go up to LA to see it when
my
they did it.
goodness.
So I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you for coming in. And,
thank you for
and
having me.
Best of everything.
Thank you so much. Please come see Florencia.
We will.